Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a live episode of Talk is Cheap. It's going to be great here. Got a lot to discuss. We're going to talk about, of course, the coronavirus. And then we're going to talk about some Trump clips, some highlights I got from his and we just dropped there. So I'm bringing it back in, folks. And we're going to talk about the TIC TAC stuff. We have some updates on that front about the TIC TAC UFO. Let's break this all down up next on Talk is Cheap. Welcome to Talk is Cheap, where cheap is talk. Talk is cheap, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Dan Hopewell. Thank you so much for joining me on this Friday, February 28th, 2020 edition. With me, as always, is none other than Pete Hopewell.
Hey, Dano. How you doing, man?
Yo, so far, so good.
Yeah, I'll tell you, it's something that we've mentioned this before, something that the folks behind out in there in internet land don't see. And I get to sit here and just kind of observe is watching Dan when things go wrong completely go to some nuclear level and fix it. Though we're live, we're on the air, so good job, Dan.
Yeah, before the show, I thought this was gonna happen. I had an inkling of it. You just know, the stream key, YouTube wants to push everybody over on their new system, which I don't think is quite there yet, because you can set up multiple live channels, if you will, shows, and schedule those. But it's how do you get to the current one? And I was sitting there, nothing's there. Long story short, the key wasn't right, so I had to delete it off, restream, and then add it back. So it all just it's one of those headache things. But we're getting back
it's funny because they just got a glimpse of what goes on sometimes before we get on the show. So
that's ridiculous.
Anyway, good job, Dan. We're here. We're all right.
We're chugging along.
Yeah. We're using 2017 technology or something.
See, that's another thing too. I got to update my systems, and that could cause issues too with.
Yeah, there's always bugs
software
to work out after you do any updates, and sometimes the updates give you more problems than you.
Exactly. That's why I actually waited on the updating Mac OS. It's actually June was a bit later, but I always try to wait till February, somewhere in there, before you update the OS, just so they get all the bugs out. But that still ain't gonna help if there's incompatibilities with my the switcher for the scenes and stuff like that. It's just sometimes it's just nice not to worry about this stuff. So let's go ahead and get going on some of this. We got a lot to cover. I do want to give a quick shout out to everybody here, because YouTube has its up and downs. There's censorship, and if you don't know, we are on BitChute. I'm surprised BitChute hasn't taken off more. Also DTube, and big shout out to the podcast listeners. Audio only, of course, but sometimes I'm wondering if that's just the way to go, and I have to worry about dressing up all nice, getting the presentation. And if YouTube really wants to censor everything, I'm to the point where it's just let's go over to the podcast, just do it over there. We can say whatever. We don't have to worry about anything. Yeah, we don't have as big of an audience over there, but it's a juggling thing. I'm getting we're going to cover it later on the show. I'm not going to get into that, but there is some more censorship news that's just oh God.
Yay.
But that comes with everything, right?
Yep. I just want to point out the effort I put into dressing up for the show. Now that you mention it, got a t-shirt.
That's your voluntary deputy firefighter.
Yeah. Yes. No. Yes. This is one of the t-shirts I got from the fire department.
Oh, nice.
Correct. Yeah. Representing tonight.
So you kind of sell what I got on screen here. I'm pretty happy about this one, Pete. So just a little fun thing here. Jif is actually going to have a campaign and make a GIF peanut butter. So there's Jif and GIF. People think that the creator said it's Jif. And if anybody doesn't know, that's the animated pictures that loop back and forth. Everybody uses these nowadays.
Yeah, usually 3 to 5 second clips that just kind of go back and forth. Do you have an example of one, Dan? Or no?
Not on right now.
Just Google GIF or something.
Yeah, and then
or DuckDuckGo GIF.
So I'm going to read this paragraph here. Peanut butter powerhouse Jif and popular GIF service Giphy have teamed up to create a limited run of special 40-ounce jars of peanut butter with double-sided Jif and GIF labels to settle the great debate over how to pronounce GIF. Now, in this article, they say that it's supposed to be, or it's actually right here, if you ever called a GIF a GIF, we forgive you. They're going with what I believe, even though the creator said it's GIF.
Well, so what?
But
I could spell any word the same way and pronounce it differently, and just you have to pronounce it whatever. Yeah, it's GIF. Everybody says GIF.
It should be GIF.
Yeah,
because the G. Oh, where was it in there?
Well, how come then the alcohol isn't pronounced gin? Then it's gin, right? And the woman's name is Ginny, so you just put an F where the N is, and it's GIF.
Right here. Let me go full screen. The G in GIF stands for graphics interchange format. So when you say graphics, that's a strong G.
It's graphics. Sorry, that's how I pronounce it. I'm going to start pronouncing all my G's as a J now. I've decided.
Well, you can do whatever you want, I guess, nowadays. Anything goes.
Yeah.
So I thought that was interesting. Again, limited edition, folks. I kind of want to get some of these myself because this is a great campaign, and I can't believe it took them this long to come out with this.
Yeah, buy a case of them and keep a bunch unopened and just wait 10 years. You can probably sell them for 3-4 times what you pay for them now.
So I want to get into... We might as well get into the Trump stuff right away, I guess. Before we do this...
Yeah, there's going to be probably a lot of talk.
A what?
A lot of talk about Trump tonight, I think.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, speaking of which, I think we're kind of competing with his rally right now.
Oh, really? Where is there a rally? I don't pay that close attention. All the politicians are crooked.
Well, we'll see.
So this is a coin. I tweeted this out. Now this is back from the Iowa caucus. The Buttigieg, they were doing coin tosses to see who would get the delegate, and this guy literally cheats in front of everybody. And it's just okay, so I'm gonna play this clip here.
Over. Heads. Buttigieg.
Heads. So for those listening, when he does the coin flip, well, number one, he doesn't know how to flip a coin.
Yeah, start that. What? That's not even a coin flip. He just sets it down and then he flips it with his hand. Oh, there.
Okay, so up in the air with the thumb. He heaps it in his fist, and then he grabs it with the other hand, flips it in his palm,
and then just
then he rakes it over again with his
and then just
finger.
Picks it up and holds it up and says it's heads.
Heads.
What kind of?
And he does it right in front of these people. They don't care because you can't call anybody out if you're politically leftist correct. Okay. And that's how it goes.
And then at the end, he holds up. See, why doesn't he flip it into his hand? And then he puts it down and then he flips it.
So this is why the whole institution's failing. Mind blown, right, Pete?
I don't even have words for that.
That
should have instantly been like a retoss. Just, reflip it, regardless of, and I would have gotten somebody else in there, anybody else in the room probably.
These people should have gotten really pissed and said, we demand another coin flip. That's not right. But
that's
so everybody doesn't want to offend anybody because you can tell he's kind of a different.
Yeah, look at the gal in the green shirt there because she's she's waiting to react one way or the other, and then she's still processing what the heck is going on. Look at the look on her face.
They know they're getting screwed, but they just let it go, just like in real life.
Yeah. So yeah. Okay.
So I thought that was interesting.
Weird.
Okay, whatever, folks. This is what you're
Where was that again?
That was the Iowa caucus.
Oh, jeez. You guys in Iowa, I tell you.
Well, there's a talk that they're not going to. It was Nevada they did too, but it sounds like they're going to start going away from caucuses because of the whole issue of everything's going. Yeah, it's crazy. Now, I got some clips from Trump I want to play. Again, this is he was talking about cancer in Colorado. Let's play this clip.
We will achieve new breakthroughs in science and medicine, finding new cures for childhood cancer. They've made such progress. And ending the AIDS epidemic in America. We started a year ago. It should have been started long before in the last administration because they had the technology then.
Last administration had it.
But we're starting it. We'll have it done within 9 years. It's a 10-year process.
So we talk about the healing technologies on here. He says 10 years. Well, 9 now.
Yep.
Obama could have did it
at the very end. Yep.
Obama could have did it. He didn't do it. Because whatever.
Yeah.
Control.
Allegedly, right? Let's say that.
And this brings me back to thinking about the whole healing med beds we talked about the last episode.
Mm-hmm.
When we talk about the funding, you said why not get Gwyneth Paltrow
to start do that, because
that's a great idea. When I actually sat and thought about it when I was editing the video, I wanted to have more input on that, because what celebrity's not going to want to be younger and more beautiful?
Oh yeah, and she peddles
sell
all that weird garbage, you know.
Yeah.
So or maybe it's good stuff. Who knows? I've never used it, but
Right.
yeah, she's into that. So are you drafting a letter to Gwyneth Paltrow to see?
Well, again, this is back to the people that have the med beds that say that work. They got to market to the right crowd. That would be so perfect. Go to the celebrities. They got the money. They're going to want it.
Yeah.
They'll pay for it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So
I'm not going to mention any of the names, but there's enough vain celebrities out there that would gladly put millions towards research into that.
But, I've kind of been thinking about Trump, like the healing technology, they could, if the med beds do exist, which I do believe they do somewhere, get this stuff out there, especially now with the coronavirus we'll be talking about later on in the show, to heal all this stuff, bring it out. That'd be a good buffer to start getting this going, because it's just, I feel like we do have some wins, but at the same time, it's like, well, it's time to I want something big. I want to see Hillary go to jail. I want to see the IRS, I got my shirt on, and the Fed.
Yeah.
I want to see something big like that fall, the giant.
Well, yes, you and millions of other people on the planet. Oh, yeah, sorry, I got to keep going. Yeah, what you're doing is you're basically saying, what everybody that's at least enlightened wants to see and see progress, and take steps towards, I guess, I don't want to say, but the new way of life or whatever. Because face it, Dano, we're living in a corrupt society right now, and I'm not taking any sides. I say that they're both terrible and in their own ways, and somebody's got to do something. And
well, yeah, so you lead in
we,
nicely here. Somebody's got to do something. So I never seen Trump talk like this at one of his rallies. Now he's kind of leading into the whole Hillary justice thing here. He was talking about Hillary, and he says, I hope you're going to be happy. So let's listen to this clip.
Crooked Hillary spent at least 3 times more than we did and lost.
And the crowd goes angry.
Crooked as hell. She's crooked as hell. We have a double-sided justice. It's very unfair what's going on. Very unfair, but let's see how it all works out, folks.
I like how they just hand out some baseball hats.
I hope you're going to be happy.
Let's see how it works out.
I hope you're going to be happy, because there are a lot of dishonest slime balls out there. Dishonest scum.
Definitely.
Dirty cops. A lot of dirty cops. And by the way, the FBI, those guys in that are incredible, but the ones on top, they were absolute scum. And what they were trying to do, if that happened to Obama or a Democrat, or especially a liberal Democrat, they'd be in jail for 50 years, and it would have taken place 2 years ago already.
That's right.
They spied on our campaign, remember that. And after they spied, we won. And then after we won, they tried to get us out of office. It's never happened before in the history of our country. And we can't let that happen. We can never, ever excuse it. We can never let them get away with that.
Exactly.
So is that a precursor to something that he knows?
Oh, yeah.
That's going to finally come down. It better come down, because I am sick of it. We're all sick of it. We want to see justice.
I think at a minimum, you'll see his personal vendetta get executed. I think in a sense, he's already started to do that with dismissing some of the generals and staff that testified against him in the inquiry or whatever, but that's just small peanuts.
That is. I mean, there's a lot of even CEOs stepping down that you could say is a big thing, but I want to see the high hanging fruit go.
Yeah. Right.
And it's time. So
I'm just gonna bite my tongue on that. I think.
Really?
Yeah.
It's all public.
It's all public. Yeah.
All right, here's another one on the moon and Mars.
We will land the first woman on the moon and become the first nation in the world to plant our flag on Mars.
Because of Elon Musk.
And
Elon Musk will do it for us.
I wonder how long that'll be, but there's a lot of stuff coming out, and we're going to talk about some of the Tic Tac UFO. That's why I had the picture of the Tic Tacs.
Oh, right on. Yeah, I was wondering how that tied in. I thought it was maybe some like internet cure for the coronavirus.
Well, somebody said that they cured the coronavirus with a shot of whiskey and honey or whatever.
Oh, I'm sure people would say that. You know, I heard that if you take like you swallow like 6 Mentos whole and then you slam a bunch of Coca-Cola. I heard that cures coronavirus.
I used to watch a lot of those videos back in the day. So, yeah. And then, of course, Trump always says on a lot of his rallies, the best is yet to come. So what does he know? Let's listen to that clip here.
And ladies and gentlemen of Colorado, the best is yet to come.
Now, do you think he's referring to free energy and stuff, or we ain't going to go that far for another 10, 20,000 years?
Or is he just pandering to a crowd that thinks, you know, he's been dangling a lot of carrots. He's dangled carrots before he was, president, but all presidents.
He delivered on...
all presidents do that.
Well, he's delivered on a lot, though, unlike other presidents.
Well, yeah, he's kind of, I guess. Yeah, he's done something.
What don't you think he delivered on yet?
Well, you know, there's a whole discussion about Social Security getting Medicaid now getting tapped into. He's going to protect it.
He said he's never going to touch that.
Yeah, but allegedly, if you
that was like one of the conspiracies that they're always trying to make it sound like that.
I would encourage everybody to look into that a little bit more. Another one was I don't feel he's done much in the prescription drug world, and he said he was going to do that. If anything, he's done some things to strengthen them, but you know, whatever.
Well, it was about bringing prices down.
Yeah, and that's really hasn't happened yet either. But he's still got, you know.
Well, I'm not a med junkie, so I wouldn't.
Yeah, I'm really not either. But I know that healthcare costs in general in this country are freaking outrageous.
Well, that's why we got to have socialism and get Bernie in there, right?
Yeah. We just got to reel back our military-industrial complex and put some of that towards the betterment of our people, and we'd be in much better shape. That's what I think. Or at least give us rides up into space.
Like I said,
see the Space Force stuff.
Yeah. Well, the biggest thing I'm disappointed in, I want to see the Fed. You know, he's been a little hard on the Federal Reserve saying lower interest rates, but I want to see it go. Like, you guys are done.
Yeah, that's where we should.
But that.
I don't think that there's enough economic stability in the world to do that.
Well, they're supposed to bring out this new currency and have it backed by gold.
That would be awesome. Every time that somebody tries to back a currency by gold, we invade them, though. That's the problem.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, we're doomed. Something big. I'm with you, Dan. Something big needs to happen. I think that's the moral of the story here in the conversation. Something big needs to drop. The ball needs to drop. Let's take some steps. I'll tell you what, you'd be amazed. It wouldn't create ripples. It would create tidal waves through the world if something big like that happened. Free energy. Yeah. You know, just even like just a global cleaning of corruption. I'd like to see it just trickle down.
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's switch over to our next topic.
Do it now.
That's some pretty good transition music there, Dan. Love it.
You got to get use out of it, right?
Yeah, that's like something. It seems like there should be like a cartoon dog skateboarding by when I hear that or something.
It should.
Wearing his hat backwards and a pair of sunglasses.
Okay, now I hope you're not sad about this one. A flat earther has died.
Heard about this.
Did you really?
Yep, I read about this. I can't believe that didn't end up on my topics.
So I'm going to go ahead and just play the news clip here because it's pretty self-explanatory, but he was on a mission.
I think we've heard about him before, Dan.
54-year-old Mad Mike Hughes was known as a homemade astronaut on a self-financed mission to space. But as Mola Lenghi reports, he died living out his dream.
Moments after launching, a homemade rocket crashed into the open desert in California Saturday. On board, Mike Hughes. It would be the final act of the self-styled daredevil known as Mad Mike. His mission was to fly to the edge of outer space to ultimately see whether the Earth is flat.
I'm the best hope to prove the flat Earth.
Mad Mike spoke to CBS Sunday Morning in 2018, just a few months after the successful launch of his first steam-powered rocket, built from spare parts in his garage.
Easy, guys, easy.
He walked away and vowed to fly again.
The flat Earth thing is like everything else to me. I just want people.
So everybody watching, he's done this multiple times,
Yeah.
more than once. Broke his back practically.
Yeah. Achieving heights as high as 700 feet or something like that. He didn't go very high.
And he's had problems with that parachute before.
Well, it looked, I mean, they showed it take off and you could almost just, I'm pretty sure that was his chute back, right? And it just tore off from the rocket.
There was one launch, he had 2 parachutes, so I don't, maybe that was just the spare.
Oh God, let's hope so. But
it didn't last.
You know, they didn't show the end of it. Maybe it just blew up halfway up in the air. It just kapow.
Well, the reports say that it was hitting the ground that got him.
Oh, that got him. So he couldn't slow down fast enough on the way down.
Interestingly enough, S7V in the chat says David Icke's long lost brother. I think I tend to agree with you on that one.
Question everything.
Flat Earthers believe the Earth is shaped like a frisbee, with the sun and the moon rotating around the outer edge.
I expect to see a flat disc up there. I don't have an agenda. If it's a round Earth or a ball, I'm going to come down and say, hey, guys,
getting up high
I'm bad. It's a ball.
He's got
one thing
no
Mad Mike
oxygen.
did
It's not sealed
deny
up. You go into outer
was
space,
the risk
you die.
he took.
Right.
In the 2019 documentary Rocket Man, Mad Mike described how he wanted to live and die.
We're supposed to come to the end of our lives.
It's not like he's wearing a respirator.
Not with anything left, but everything exhausted. And you've done everything you can possibly do.
Mola Lengi, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Bert's Construction getting some free advertising
So
there.
there it is. Like, and then when you talk about him only getting up 700 feet, like
he wasn't up very high. I don't think he got up very high, like a couple, maybe a couple thousand or
go
something.
on a plane and get up 30,000 feet, and you see that's still not high enough to see the curvature.
You need to go way out there. So he wasn't, But, you know, it would have been cool if he would have launched himself, you know, like 6 miles up in the air. You know, if his chute worked, he would have survived that.
Well, that was just interesting. I thought I'd bring it up. So it's a sad day for some people. I mean,
that's too bad. You know, he was a free spirit and just kind of a fun guy to talk about and see what he was up to. So
he was definitely out there.
More ambitious than I am, that's for sure. I don't think I could build a rocket that I would be comfortable getting in and launching myself in the air. And he did it multiple times.
All right.
So good job.
All right, let's change over.
Now, changing subjects a little bit.
So maybe I should have did this first, but this is the crackdown back on YouTube I want to talk about. So now they're doing another wave. This was an article from February 3rd, 2020 here. YouTube's disinformation crackdown, that they're going to push this again. Now, welcome to day 1 of 2020 election. To mark the occasion, YouTube has announced that unlike most other social platforms, it will get even more aggressive in combating the election-related disinformation that circulates on its site. In a blog post, YouTube outlined its plan to remove manipulated videos that are intended to deceive viewers, as well as any videos that support conspiracy theories. Wow. So again, it's their
man. Oh man, they are just shutting any alternative viewpoints down. If they don't agree with it, it's conspiracy theory. You're out of here.
Yep.
That is ridiculous.
And this here too also says birther videos. You know, you're questioning somebody's citizenship. No, that's a conspiracy. They shut down one that was talking about the Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg secretly dead, and it's like,
that's fun stuff to talk about. You know, the next thing they know, they're not going to let us talk about lizard people and, you know, underground caverns and stuff.
Well, this is getting to my point. So, how much longer is this channel going to last? Because this is why I'm getting so sick of this. Because when I started this live stream, I even took a screen capture of it for everybody. Today's show demonetized before I even started streaming it.
How did that happen?
Not suitable. I haven't even made the damn thing yet, and it's already not suitable. Okay.
How does that work?
I suppose they could have took some of the stuff I typed in the description, which I was very careful with. You know, probably coronavirus. You can't talk about that unless you're MSNBC News or whatever the hell.
Yeah, CNN and all that.
They know best for you.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just little things like this that I'm getting really like.
But you know, it sucks because you're absolutely right. There isn't another platform out there that people are
there's platforms, but like BitChute's good. It's just people got to get over there. Even I find myself not going to it when I should.
I admittedly I go to YouTube every time I want to see any video.
Muscle memory.
Yeah,
that's where everybody is. But now it's
I'm slowly breaking the Google and going with DuckDuckGo. I've been liking that as a search engine.
Yeah, I've been going back and forth. Sometimes I won't get the results I want, and I have to go to Google.
Yeah, I'll use Google on occasion too. It's like I don't necessarily I'm not strictly DuckDuckGo, but I've been using it more and more.
Yeah, look at even Athena says that she's not getting. Let me enlarge this a little bit. She says I don't see any suggestions for other truth or community videos on the main homepage anymore. Yeah, it's all junk.
Yeah.
And even that, you got to like really search, and then your searches are screwed up. And
we got to use code word. Is there any sort of well, I suppose there's no printed dictionary of code words for conspiracy theorists because then they'd have that too.
It won't matter. They'll start catching on. Like people even would take like writing words on paper and holding it up like I mean, you can only do that so long, and they could have things that could start detecting text in the video, and it's never going to stop. But that's why it's
once the robots take over.
But I was thinking back about how, when I prep for a video, how easier it was back in the day. It's like, oh, should I talk about this? Sure. Now it's like, I literally have to stop myself and say, can I talk about this? Or is there another way I could word it? Because again, we ain't going to come up in a search result if we're demonetized. So now after this video gets done, I'm going to have to challenge the monetization on it. Hopefully it gets with some guy that believes in the Second or First Amendment.
And hopefully the second.
Both are good.
Both of the amendments.
Correct.
But it's all who reviews that video. They're judge and jury there. So
yeah,
it is what it is. And that's kind of why I think, well, maybe we should just go all out and say, screw it. Let's just talk about what we want. If they pull the channel, so be it. We'll maybe just go audio only. I don't know. I'm really getting to that point because the prep work that you have to do, and even taking every step you can not to say words and still getting demonetized.
That's BS. The fact that it was demonetized, like who makes that call, and is the whole channel now just going to start, no matter what we do, be demonetized? It's nuts. I suppose whoever reviews the video is going to hear us bitching about YouTube.
Well, it's like you guys work for a censorship company. Do you really believe in blocking people's opinions? It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and it's I agree.
So, I guess that's our little rant.
Yeah. God, it's been a depressing episode so far, Dan. We're screwed. Nothing big's happening. Trump's not, doing everything we're hoping he's doing. And
so, speaking of screwed, let's go move on to the coronavirus.
Oh, God, yeah.
All fake.
Okay, the coronavirus. Now, if I was still a drinker, I would have had a Corona on the show. I'm surprised you didn't pick that up.
Oh, I'm a little disappointed I didn't come up with that. Dan, you got to throw me some bones.
I did. Here. I put it in the thumbnail.
Oh. Yeah, okay.
It wasn't a bad beer back when I did drink, but
yeah.
Okay.
No, it's beer. I mean.
So the Corona. So what do you think about all this, Pete?
What do I think about it?
Yeah, getting hyped up for sure.
Well, yeah, it is. And, I've been doing some looking into it. And it really, in the States right now, we need to be more concerned about the flu. More people have died from the flu, et cetera, et cetera. But it does appear that the coronavirus is a little more contagious and does have a higher, kill rate. And there might be populations that are more susceptible to it. That's what to stay tuned for. If it rolls through parts of India or Europe, and all of a sudden this huge swaths start dropping off, then you start got to worry more.
You bring up a great point because I got on screen a map. It's a pretty nice map, actually. This is from the
Corona Express. Tracker 2000.
Of course, where China is. By the way, I got this new watch, Apple Watch. It came right out of there. I got it 2 weeks ago. That's when all this was happening. They did say it doesn't stay with packages and stuff. A lot of packages do come out. It's only
several hours, yeah.
But I've been fine. So, but yeah, they got a nice thing here. It says 65,000 over 65,000 confirmed cases out of that China area there, but we can back up and we can even go to the US and see exactly what we got. Now we do have one close here in Madison.
Yeah.
There was a confirmed case.
And then is that Chicago?
Chicago, there's two there.
Okay, Chicago, yeah.
And there was one down
surprise, West Coast. Ooh, there's one in Washington, or
Tempe,
is that
Arizona.
Oregon? Up there, that's Washington, and then Canada.
Yeah, the map is kind of
Seattle,
blocked.
and then BC,
Yep. Will it take off? I don't know. Like, my gut instinct is telling me that it's just a little blown out of proportion. So it's.
Do you have, the CDC and stuff's recommending that we start getting 2 weeks worth of supplies ready in case we go on a quarantine lockdown? Think of that. They could, if there's an outbreak in an area, especially urban area, they can like literally militarily crack down and put curfews and make you stay in your home. So, they say 2 weeks. I'd recommend going 4. So time to, buy the case of ramen noodles you've been putting off, and a couple more jugs of water.
Well, I still have a 2-month supply of food, but it's not. It was back when I wasn't a vegetarian, but if I have to, I guess I'll eat it.
If you're starving, right, you're going to eat it.
I got to actually use it up. It's actually getting pretty old, but it's there. Storable food's always a good thing to have in case.
Yep. Just make sure you got enough water to use it with, right? Because is it all dried, freeze dried and stuff?
Oh yeah.
So
all we need is right here a generator to hook into the power grid, and then they'll pump water. So
because you got a well. So all you have to do is generate your well pump, and you're good to go. So you're set, man. Just make sure you got enough gas.
Yep, that's another thing. Yep.
Well, between all the vehicles and stuff and gas cans get around here, you'd have, if you rationed right away, I'm sure you'd make it a long time.
So back to the conspiracy of this.
Oh yeah, Corona. I got a couple other comments on Corona too. Okay, so I'm sure people have heard already that there's, it came from Wuhan, where in 2017 this like bio lab opened up there, industrial military bio lab opened up there. So people are saying that they deliberately released the virus, and this is man-made virus that people deliberately released. Of course, that's unsubstantiated, and all the other major news outlets are saying that's just hogwash. But if you think about it a little bit, there were Hong Kong protests going on, with extradition for their court cases and just a general unhappiness with the government. And there were protests as large, and I came across one that said, like, the official said 338,000, but what was it? Some of the estimates put it as high as 2 million people protesting in China in one place. So what a better way to get a political situation under control when you're having an uprising. You release a virus, and you're not going to kill a lot of them. You just kill enough to scare the hell out of everybody, right, and send them back running like cockroaches when you turn on the light. And
that's pretty plausible, because when you think about these bio labs, they got all these weapons.
They make bioweapons. It's fact that countries, including the U.S., have bioweapons, and they've been developing. I'm sure they still are these things. So there's a lot of military scientists right now tracking and studying this very closely to see exactly. They're testing certain models of spread now. It's so obvious now. The whole world is paying attention, so they're going to have a very good reporting feedback loop. So there's so much data coming out of this. It's crazy, and take a look. And here's another aspect too. Maybe it wasn't so much a China protest. Maybe it was some way to manipulate the global economy and to prove a point, to make money, or to gain power somewhere. So try to, keep your eye on that. And like, some people are making money, also are going to be making money. And
it's also with the whole trade thing with China. That could be part of it.
What I learned from this whole thing, and because how many people have died? 2,000, 3,000 people globally?
I think so.
Something like that. How many people die every day from other stuff?
Right. You make a good point.
I mean, tens of thousands of people globally die every day, if not every hour. And it's like, and it's putting the whole global economy in turmoil. Look at how fragile that is. This isn't even right now, is not that big, and people are freaking out, and the economy is going to suffer.
Yeah, we were talking about this, like my 401k has gone down like 10 grand.
Yeah, and supply chains are being disrupted everywhere. I've lost a bunch of money in the last week.
Yeah,
in my retirement 401k and stuff. I don't want to downplay the coronavirus, because it's going to make people sick. More people are going to die. But fact of the matter is, we've got world leaders out there, a handful of people on this planet that with literally a push of the button can wipe hundreds of millions off the face of this earth.
Exactly.
We need to be worried about those people, man. Why do we even allow them to have that power? Us as a global population allow these people. Anyway, I'm totally digressing here. You fired me up, Dano.
Another thing too is oh no, I just lost my train of thought.
So anyway, so I don't want people to take precautions. You should be just stepping up your cleaning. Be mindful of where you're going.
The vaccinations now, those are going to get pushed with this new strain.
Yep.
And it's going to take them a year yet to develop, but still, are they going to start pushing this on people? And of course, Trump's backing that, which has me a little worried. He's tweeted about vaccines being bad before, but now since he's been president, he's always been pushing them for being good. He
wants to save the world now.
Again, perfect scenario. Bring out the med beds. We got this. Let's try this. The scientists made this thing. Let's try it.
Yeah,
easy.
He could easily say, "I put a team together that came up with this in a record time, and we're going to start trying it. And what do you know? It cures the coronavirus and AIDS and cancer and kidney disease, everything, and all that stuff." Right?
Yeah.
Here's your opportunity,
or
Trump.
If they want to take it a little slower, just have the programming for the coronavirus first, and then add things slowly,
later,
just so it doesn't disrupt the economy too much.
Too much right away, right? Yeah. Because I guess you got to ease the healthcare system down from their trillions of dollars they take from us every year.
Yeah, and then there's a rumor that they're going to use this virus thing to basically blame Trump that he wasn't prepared, and it's the whole witch hunt hoax.
There's obviously egos involved on the world stage. Is this a personal vendetta back from China because we hurt their feelings with trade tariffs? I don't know, man. Lots of options, Dano.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Lots of stuff.
All I think is just ridiculous how fragile the global economy is.
It is. That's why it's so scary, because a lot of it's just investors. And another thing that I was going to totally forgot about this, you could have somebody like George Soros come in and buy shares of the vaccine stock.
Yep.
Make billions again.
Right. So, and do it. So if you can, follow the money, because there's going to be billions, if not more, to be made off of this when we come out of it. And we will come out of it, eventually. If not, well, that's probably the best thing for the planet,
All right, let's change on over.
Wild women, the ripping and the tearing.
Okay, we're going to get into some space stuff. I want to talk about Tom DeLonge. He's actually, this was interesting to me. I had to bring this article up here. Tom DeLonge just sold his copyright shares in Blink-182 songs.
Oh.
DeLonge has sold 100% of his copyright interest in 157 songs, including all of his material, both Blink-182 and Angels and Airwaves. This was to the IP investment company Hypnosis Songs. So there wasn't any details on this, what he got or what they paid for it, but I'm sure we're talking millions and millions of dollars here that he sold off. So now what is the reason for that?
Wasn't making enough through the royalties?
Maybe he is in debt, like we kind of researched with his when he had the To the Stars investment write-up. Remember they had a thing in there about some of those proceeds would go to his failed hot dog company and stuff like that.
Yep.
It's just crazy stuff. Maybe he was so far in debt he had to do this. I don't know.
Would he have to sell all, maybe they only wanted all of his catalog. You'd think you'd hang on to a couple of the good ones and keep them in your back pocket.
I don't know. It's really weird, because if you would make money off of that, or is he just completely trying to go away from it?
They spent $664 million on 11,000 songs.
I suppose it's all part of the stream, and they want to get everybody's in the streaming services, and they have to compete with Apple and Spotify and all this other stuff.
I got to do that math.
Per song is what you're trying to figure out.
6, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? 664 million divided by, it was 11,200.
225. It's close enough.
$59,000 per song.
Holy cow. That's way higher than I thought it would have been. Yeah, it is. I guess depends on how good they are, but interesting there. I just thought I would share that. We'll probably find out more about that in the future. We'll see how that goes. So let's talk about the TIC TAC stuff.
Not to be confused with TikTok, right?
TikTok. There was actually, I want to share this tweet too. This came from To the Stars Academy.
Yeah, okay, that's interesting.
So he says, we have 20 different material samples, and we are starting to investigate their properties. They function in different ways, and we are doing a lot of research to understand how the energy shifts based on different things that the metal encounter. So we've heard about this before. They got these metamaterials. They're going to test them again. Yeah. They filmed this unidentified show for the History Channel. It probably would have been 2 years ago. I know it aired last year, folks, but before that, you were filming to get the production out. So they've had this stuff because they showed teasers of them dealing with metamaterials. It was wrapped in bubble wrap for transportation and all that. I think part 2 of Unidentified is going to have more of that stuff, showing the materials. So this is just feeling the water.
I think that's a really small piece of material there too. It looks like it's really zoomed in close, almost magnified.
Oh,
doesn't
yeah,
it?
For sure.
I mean, it's not like a big slab laying on a table.
I think this was the one that was rumored to come from Linda Moulton Howell and
right, because she gave him a
Roswell.
Tiny little piece.
Yeah.
Yep. I remember reading that or seeing that on a video once.
So yeah, that was tweeted out on January 29th of 2020. So we'll see what the future brings on that as well. And of course, remember when they did the Nimitz? I don't know if did you watch the video when they broke everything that came out and they first did all this stuff? It was like October 2017, I think, before the press caught on.
Mm-hmm, yep.
So this was a very important point here. I got on screen.
I don't remember seeing this particular video.
They actually To the Stars Academy took their presentation here on the left. That's not on the internet. It's been scrubbed. I downloaded a copy.
Really?
Yeah. So
way back when you downloaded a copy?
I think I found it on an alternative site real quick that somebody reposted. And I was like, all right, I'm grabbing this before they take his down.
Yep. Good thinking.
The question is why? Okay, so for those folks listening, we got Chris Mellon here on the left, and it's showing. Remember, they had that picture that it looks like a dead white fish thing in the corner. This was actually like a Mylar balloon that was filmed in the UK. Were they embarrassed that they used the wrong photo and took it down because of that? I don't know, but
I see. Okay,
fake.
well, good. I'm glad I haven't seen this then, because
and somebody did mention that, and I don't know if I ever really pointed it out in the show, but this is a good side by side that they had. So I figured I'd show it. But
I don't know if those shapes necessarily line up, though. Kind of.
Oh yeah,
it's washed out. Maybe it's just the washout that I'm seeing.
And you got to think you're talking about optical zoom. Well, digital.
Yeah, I guess I can. Yeah, I guess. Yeah. All right, I'll buy it. But
I have a feeling that's kind of why they took it down. Is like, oh, we gotta. But they should have. They had time to prepare for this presentation. They could have did it right.
So they accidentally grabbed a wrong still. And you know what's funny about that? There's like really good, like as far as UFO footage goes, really good UFO Nimitz UFO stuff. I mean, like look at that picture. That's like right out of the old drawings and stuff from the 30s and 40s that people were describing.
Well, you're making a good point, because even the Tic Tac video they showed us, that wasn't the highest res according to other sources. That was a low res.
Yeah, you think they'd release? You think that the U.S. government and their $20 million fighter jets have like grainy little recording capabilities?
So to the Tic Tac,
GoPro on it and get better footage.
So there was an insider that came out. Now his name is Mike Turber. He did a video, and this is actually this is an article from Michael Sala's site. So Mike Turber came out. He served with the U.S. Air Force as an intelligence specialist and later with various defense contractors, where he held a top secret security clearance and access to various special access programs.
Mike Turber.
So now he was saying that this Tic Tac craft was actually us and it was assembled in Palmdale, California, and the Air Force called it Plant 42. And I think he was talking.
Oh my gosh!
He's also talking about the supercavitation. We were talking about this with your other scientist buddy there.
Yeah, I was just thinking my hologram buddy was telling me this exact thing, saying, "No, that's our craft," and they were just messing with him, see how everybody'd react, you know.
Yeah, and I think this is exactly what you were telling me: the cavitation bubble around the craft moving water
and
molecules.
eliminating friction. Yeah.
So right there.
And my buddy claims to have seen one of those functioning, but he claims it can go faster than the speed of sound underwater.
So these, like the largest one he says they have is 46 feet, which allows it to be easily transferred. You can put this in a truck, box trailer truck, throw it in the back. No one's going to know. It can go right down the highway.
Yeah.
And I guess the U.S. Air Force deployed these near the Navy ship just to see how the reactions would be and
is it
how they would
manned or remote operated. Did it specify that?
That's a good question. I think what he was kind of getting at was that it was remote.
Okay. Well, it depends if that cavitation bubble, if that eliminates gravitational forces within the ship or not, because otherwise there's no way a human body would withstand the G-forces of the accelerations and the transitions and stuff, you know?
So he says that these TIC TAC craft are not from reverse engineered extraterrestrial
Yeah,
craft.
that's what Kermit was saying.
This is interesting here. Turber says that several TIC TAC shaped craft hybrid were deployed over North Korea in November of 2017 to intimidate Kim Jong-un. Think about that, because I always thought, okay, you got this. You know,
can you imagine if, because it's such a media blackout in North Korea, you know, they wouldn't be leaking it and releasing videos and making a big deal out of it.
And well, if Kim is going crazy and Trump had to settle him down, it's like we're not really even sure kind of like what happened, because everything was getting so hot there. Speaking of which, hot, remember the ballistic weapon in Hawaii? That was actually January 2018. So this is
the accidental launch one.
I think that was
alert.
I
or whatever.
think it was real. There was something there.
But then they realized that, oh wait, it's, you know, the government came in, or the threat eliminated itself. It wasn't a missile coming at us. It was something else.
No, I think we had
You think there might have been a missile coming?
I think what could have happened, let's just say Kim Jong-un launched a missile at Hawaii. The systems worked the way they should have, but it got intercepted by, let's just say, this TIC TAC or space-based weapon laser systems to neutralize it. Boom. Put it out that it was a mistake.
Yeah,
so
oops. Yeah, some old guy hit the wrong button.
It's a lot easier to do that than to say that we diverted a war.
Well, and you know what? Maybe that's why Trump is getting so cocky about Space Force and Mars and stuff, because people have shown him some of this stuff.
Right.
You know?
And that was the rumor that Mike Turber said. He said they sat him down and showed this stuff. And
Trump probably is like,
I want to use this.
Let's go. Yeah. You know, and maybe that's how he sees him, you know, cementing his legacy, is that look at all this great technology that under his presidency that he released. Because, you know, to him, I'm sure he's looking at it as more of a power thing and prestige and stuff than actually trying to help mankind.
Well,
that's just my opinion.
It allows him to say "Little Rocket Man" and not have to worry about anything. So
yeah, right. That go ahead and try it.
So maybe he did decide to try it later on, and then they showed the force there at 2 months later.
Yeah, because he wanted to demonstrate it somewhere, and they said, "Okay, you can do it over North Korea, because we know nobody will hear about that one."
So
okay, well, that's interesting, Dan.
Yeah, so
Mike it kind of corroborated Kermit's account.
Yeah, and Mike Turber, he says, rather than being a whistleblower, he was encouraged to come forward by official sources to reveal his testimony and prepare the public for a major revelations that lie ahead. So he's one of the whistleblowers, if you will, whatever, setting the stage for this stuff to start to come out.
He has not confirmed his Air Force career.
Yeah, that's the thing. Now, here's one of the evidence things. Now, he showed on this program, the timestamps there, you can go to it and watch it, that his phone went from the West Coast to the East Coast, and it was only an hour and 24 minutes.
That would be awesome.
So he was showing that his phone did that. Is what he was all he didn't say if he was on the craft, and he wouldn't admit that if he was on the craft.
Yeah.
But he said his phone went from the
because think of that, you could throttle that down to make it so that people could survive the trip, the acceleration and stuff, and think of how quick you could travel. You need to, Dan, you need to send me this link to my email.
Oh, it'll be in the show notes.
Oh yeah, well, you're right. So I'll just pull it off there. I gotta read into that a little bit more. There's a few people I need to look into.
Yeah, so it's a big thing.
See, this is interesting. Super interesting.
Setting the stage once again, and going back to.
But how do you reconcile the fact if there are aliens and have been interacting with governments and people on this planet for however long, decades, if not longer, even tens of thousands of years? You know, maybe to Turber's knowledge, this wasn't reverse engineered from alien technology.
Yeah,
but
you're exactly right. To his knowledge, they're telling him that it's not extraterrestrial, which they're here. Believe me,
right.
Whether they got it.
I find it hard to believe that there's not some technology at some point that was nudged along by some conversations with some aliens.
So this other article here from the American Legion, Chris Mellon wrote another article up. Now he's pushing more of the alien thing, interestingly, because they always kind of didn't want to say we don't know what it is, but he does start pushing the alien aspect. Also, he talks about the Project Blue Book with the scientist Alan Hynek. I don't know if anybody hasn't watched that Project Blue Book on the History Channel. I'm only halfway through the second season. That's disclosure right there, and I didn't really put two and two together, but that's on the History Channel. So is Unidentified. So maybe those two are kind of working together.
Or, at least have the same access to the same sources, right?
That show, Project Blue Book, that's history in a nutshell. If you want to get the full history, it's right there in front of people. That it's exactly how compartmentalized it is. Like the general say to the other guy, oh, this isn't, we had to cover it like the Roswell. I mean, I shouldn't say too much to spoil it for people, but they get into the Roswell crash. And they're saying they had to lie because it was actually, advanced stuff that they were going to use with Russia.
And then the initial, and you see that with so many tragedies, initial reports come out, and then like within the next 24 to 48 hours, they get corrected, right? Somebody misspoke. The initial military guy that met the press at Roswell, he misspoke, and it wasn't a saucer with dead bodies. It was a weather balloon,
right.
So
and that show is all about push-pull. I always talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, because on the episode, it's like, all right, now they got there was this one part. It's like, all right, they have the film of the alien autopsy. And it's like, yep, this is it. And that's like, no, because then they proved it was fake, and then they faked it to try to bring the truth out. But it just gets into all that. And It's exactly everything that's been happening. So very interesting.
It is.
So back to this article here. Chris Mellon brings up an interesting point that the scientific community has to recognize the possibility of humans encountering probes from space-faring civilizations.
Yeah, that's what we do, right?
Yep, and there's no denying the possibility that some UAPs encountered by our military are probes launched by distant civilizations. So here is, again, from To the Stars Academy,
think of it. You design a probe that instead of just crash landing and then with like tracks, just on flat surfaces drives around, that it's actually self-propelled, can fly, handle the atmosphere, and is programmed to like fly and investigate like living beings and structures and stuff, and it just zips around and then keeps going and then takes off through the atmosphere and moves on to the next planet.
Yeah, it's perfect.
That's exactly how I would do it if I was an alien civilization.
There's one thing Mike Turber was talking about. I forgot to mention this, but this ties in with this article here. He says that he has to come forward with this stuff about the TIC TAC, disclosing that it's ours, that we have this stuff, because we're going to start having these new radar systems that are actually going to be able to detect these objects. And if everybody's seeing these UFOs, these UAPs, they have to have it known that they're ours, they're up there.
Yeah.
So... and it's right here in Popular Mechanics. The all-seeing eye space fence.
So they've had this, and the Space Force has had this cooking for years then.
Oh, you know it. So the radar will be able to detect objects in orbit as small as 4 inches. They're going to be seeing a lot of stuff. And then when you talk about dimensional shifts or invisibility, they're going to still be able to detect through that.
Really? Because they have some sort of dimension. I don't know how to describe it. Dimension wavering signal that they can kind of like cheat on either side.
Well, it's like a light spectrum when you think about it. Just instead of seeing like this, you're gonna see like this. So you're seeing everything.
So they just told the whole world where the damn space fence is. Smart.
So this is gonna be like out there big, like, and here it is. Objects roughly from 99 miles all the way up to 22,000 miles and beyond. And if you think about, oh yeah, we got radar or whatever to see planes, but we're talking about smaller objects.
Isn't the moon about 20-something thousand? How far away is the moon? Didn't we asked that at one other question or one other episode? We asked that. I'm gonna ask it again. How far away is the moon? Can DuckDuckGo do that? 238,900 miles.
Oh, quite a way.
So 1/10 of the way to the moon.
But it said beyond, so I mean, how far is beyond?
Yeah.
To infinity and beyond?
I don't think like 10 times. I suppose the further out you get, it requires a larger object to detect. I guess intuitively, I would think that.
So that's that. I thought it was interesting.
Oh, here we go. More space stuff too. Dan, you've heard over the years of scientists detecting weird space signals, some that appear to have patterns and stuff that come in. These radio signals come in from space, right? You've heard that over the years.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Actually, I think Dusty's covered a few of them.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we've talked about it before. And I think the most famous one was the 1977 WOW signal that kind of kicked off this whole space, people are trying to contact us. Well, anyway, earlier this month, just a couple weeks ago, I came across an article I thought was interesting and worthy of note, is that scientists discovered a new radio signal. What's unique about this is that it repeats every 16 days. So, of course, people are not saying it's aliens or whatever, but it's just a new, very unique thing that's going out there. And I'm going to say it's not necessarily not aliens, but they're frantically trying to figure out what the heck this is going on. So it's been every 16 days for more than a year. Right next door, 500 million miles, 500 million light years away.
Well, what else could it be if it's not?
Like it could be like a supernova orbiting a black hole or something like that, things like that. And it just, as it's decaying, it's sending radio bursts. But what's interesting is that, we're detecting it and they're trying to figure out, it repeats. So it's a pattern. What do we do when we send messages out? We put them on a loop, right?
Oh, yeah.
Kind of make an audio GIF.
GIF.
Yeah. GIF. Yeah. An audio GIF. So sorry, I had to work that in there. I hope that was all right. So anyway, I thought that was worthy of note. Check it out. Keep your ears to the ground on that one because, maybe it is something like that coming in. Maybe the probes are going to follow here in another year or two. The wave of probes.
Alien probes, like they've basically, they've had this stuff. It's just a matter of getting the public on board with it.
Yeah, but people are so stupid. They can't handle that stuff.
They can't judge a coin flip, let alone fucking excuse my language.
Yeah. Decide, be able to comprehend the fact that maybe we're not the most advanced species and that there's species out there that are, for all intents and purposes, allowing us to continue with our lives.
Right.
So, okay, moving on, more space stuff. New Earth-like planet discovered, Dano. This one's kind of cool. They think that it might be actually habitable. Yep. Scroll down a little bit. Well, let's take a look at this article a little bit. What's cool, it's only 100 light years from Earth. So that's right next door. A lot closer than that repeating signal. It's look at that. The sun is 40% of the size, 1/50th of the sun's brightness. Located about 100 light years from Earth. In the Dorado constellation. Now, I didn't know what the Dorado constellation was. So if you have my other sheet up there, I do have a picture of it on there.
Oh, yeah, somewhere here.
Somewhere there, you'll find that. There you go. So for those night sky watchers here, look at that. There is the Dorado constellation right in the middle of there. It's a series of 6 stars. You know,
it all looks like a blur of dots to me.
Okay, so I want you to look. I'm going to make a little side note here. Look directly below that at the Mensa one, where that green rectangle is. That constellation is made up of 2 stars. How do you get a shape like that out of 2 stars?
So you're talking about this whole part right here, right? The whole.
Yeah.
It looks like a rock, kind of.
Yeah. How do you get that shape of a constellation out of 2? Anyway, I digress again.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So anyway, there's the Dorado constellation. That's where this Earth-like planet is. Also, I did a little research too because it interests me. What we think 100 light years when we're talking galactic distances. That is like literally a stone's throw. So how long would it take to get there, Dan?
100 light years.
How? Okay, very good. That's how far it is. But okay, so with our current technological propulsion,
so if you can go up to a light year per year,
because a light year is how far a ray of light travels in 1 year.
Yeah,
that's a light year. Okay, but we don't travel as fast as light.
Well,
right?
They say we can travel faster than light.
Yeah. So anyway, so for the technology that we're allowed to be told about on this planet, how long do you think it would take us to put somebody on a rocket ship and fly 100 light?
Fly them over there?
Yeah.
1 million years?
1.8 million years. Wow. With our current technology, the current technology that we're allowed to have. Maybe take one of these Tic Tac suckers and send them up there.
Right, yeah.
See if that'll go.
I still think those would be too damn slow, to be honest.
Yep, I'm sure they will be.
Use the warp drive.
Yep. Ion propulsion. Things like that. So anyway, thought that was pretty interesting. So if this climate change stuff is really going to take down the planet, we can hop on a spaceship and in a mere 1.8 million years, Dan,
Space Force,
we'll be at our new home.
There we go.
It's awesome.
Yeah, they had I think, was it Interstellar or something? The movie, like you're going so slow, so the civilization that has to live on this ship just till the next generation.
Yeah, however many other generations.
It's like, wow, you get to your life is basically just the middle for somebody else's.
I think that would be hardest for, like, say somebody like in their teenage years getting on that because they had a taste of like what regular life is before they're confined up. But I think if you were born in that environment, you wouldn't know anything else. It would be just normal life for you.
That's true. I guess
it would be a bigger transition getting off that 4 or 5 generations down the line because the people that had experienced it they'll have the historical records and the YouTube videos on how to do stuff.
Actually, they'll have it the hardest because they'll have to rebuild civilization.
Yeah, and with no experience of, you think any of them ever chopped down a tree? You know what I'm saying? So anyway, that's
8 inches.
8 inches. So that's pretty interesting. But I'm sure they'd have chainsaws and stuff packed away somewhere. You'd have to almost travel with all of your own gear because you're not going to have factories to build stuff. You're starting over from just beyond the Stone Age. I mean, you'll have the knowledge and capability.
Well, back to the technology. If you had the 3D printers for buildings.
Yeah, right. Then you plug in what you need. That's the way to do it. Especially if you could like somehow pull the carbon out of the air around you to make the material or something.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That would be cool too. Or you put 2 rocks and a stick in the bin and you have to keep the recipe and it makes what you need. That'd be cool. Anyway, a couple last little space tidbits I wanted to talk about. I thought that was pretty interesting. Keep your eyes on it on the more science side of stuff.
For sure.
So
before we close out here, folks, I want to mention our voicemail 1-256-510-5234, 1-256-510-5234. Call in there. If you got a topic suggestion, say hi. We'll play these on the show. We haven't had any for a little while, but I wanted to get some more up here and just roll this again. Hear your thoughts again and make sure everybody's still living out there. 1-256-510-K2D4.
Hey, I got a request, Dan.
Yes.
Can you play the coin flip video again? Do you have that handy?
I can get it in a second.
I just want one more just gaping mouth open moment here. Coin flip. There it is.
Here we go. Okay. It was so good.
This is just appalling. I don't think that it's real.
Of course it's real. Look at him.
Look at that.
It's heads.
What's he doing?
It's heads.
And then he flips it. And then look, he picks it up. He flips it over. And then That is just ridiculous.
It's heads.
He knows. And look at the end, he holds up his hands because somebody says something. See that? He's like, whoa, look at that.
And then flip it over.
Oh, he's getting.
It says. It said.
All right, so Buttigieg will get 3 delegates.
Okay, so I listened more closely here. Okay, watch this again. He's getting coached on what to do, and they say, no, flip it over.
It's heads.
Oh, God. What the heck?
This is America. You don't ask questions. Cheated not once, but twice, but maybe 3 times even.
It's almost like he checks and says heads and then flips it over to make sure that it's heads and verifies the tails, and then he picks it up. It's just, but this is what's weird. He drops it into his hand and puts it back in his palm. Well, he knows he messed up.
He's never flipped a coin in his life. That's the problem.
Yeah,
put him in charge.
You put it on the back of your hand. You flip it, you catch it, and you put it on the back of your hand.
I never really even liked that. And you can even
you flip it. Actually, do it like they do in football, right? If you still watch football, Dan, you flip it, just let it go on the ground.
They made things so good, like even like you can have Siri do it. Siri, flip a coin.
It's heads.
That would have been easier than going through that.
Yeah, right.
Like I would have trusted Siri over
this dude flipping the coin. And who put him in charge, man? Right?
Well, they don't.
You know what is he the Democratic Buttigieg representative of the campaign? And that's the best they can come up with, a guy that can't flip a coin?
They failed on the app, so now they're failing on the coin flip too.
And that's Iowa. Thanks, Iowa. Eat some more corn, man.
All right,
I hope none of our Iowa fans are offended by that.
We'll leave you with that, folks. Take care. See you guys next time.
Thanks for listening. Visit k2d4network.com today.